Forget tutorials with long drawn-out intros and explanations that take forever to get to the point. Let's get right to it. If you're new to animation or After Effects, this tutorial is perfect for you. To move an animated object in After Effects, select it and then set a position keyframe by clicking the drop-down arrow, Transform, and then click the clock icon next to Position. This sets a keyframe. Next, go forward in your timeline and then drag the object to wherever you'd like. You'll see that another keyframe has automatically been created to mark the change. You can also use the value sliders to move the object and slide the X and Y values if you'd like instead. Now I'll play the animation by clicking the spacebar. I'm going to continue with animating the rotation, scale, and opacity properties. But if the position movement is all you were looking for, that's it. Feel free to stop watching now. I've made this channel to save you time, not to waste it. Please subscribe if you'd like more helpful tips in the future. I've enabled a background scene layer to make it a little more interesting. Let's move a little further in the timeline and have the plane taxi off the screen. To make the landing more realistic, let's animate the rotation. I'll rotate the plane by using the rotation sliders. Let's move along in our timeline where we want the rotate to change. Right here. I want the rotation to change quickly, so I'll set a keyframe here and go just a few frames forward in the timeline and change the rotation. You can also enter values by clicking the slider number. That's looking pretty good. Lastly, I've created a circle for the shadow. Let's animate it to show the scale and opacity properties. Let's set scale and position keyframes for the shadow layer. Then in the timeline, move to where the plane reaches the ground and drag the shadow along the ground to match where the plane is. Then let's scale it to make the shadow bigger using the scale sliders. That looks alright. I've skipped to the last keyframe in the timeline where the plane is off screen, and I'll drag the shadow to a good spot to match the plane's location. Looking good. Finally, to animate the opacity, let's set an opacity keyframe and use the sliders to decrease the shadow strength. Then move to where the plane is near the ground and use the sliders to increase the shadow strength. And there you have it. It doesn't look terrible. If this is what you were looking for, I'd be so thankful if you'd subscribe. I'm just getting started and literally every subscriber helps. I know there are millions of people fighting for your attention, and the purpose of this channel is to save your time, not to waste it. If you're looking for some good in-depth tutorials, or this wasn't what you were looking for, to save you time from searching, I'll recommend these guys. They make great stuff and will help you in learning animation and motion graphics. Have an amazing day and thanks again.